In 2014, Lisa Vanderpump, a renowned British restaurateur and television personality, had a truly transformative experience in Los Angeles. She attended an event featuring none other than His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. Just imagine being in the presence of someone so full of wisdom, compassion, and insight. Hosted by the Lourdes Foundation, the event titled Leadership in the 21st Century attracted figures from various fields, all eager to hear the Dalai Lama's take on living with compassion and wisdom in our rapidly changing world. And there, among the attendees, was Vanderpump, soaking in every word, inspired by Lisa Vanderpump's reflections on the Dalai Lama. Hit subscribe to join her journey of growth and mindfulness. Before meeting the Dalai Lama, before this transformative encounter, Lisa Vanderpump was already a successful figure in the entertainment and hospitality industries. She was known for her role in television shows such as The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and for owning several high-end restaurants and bars. Vanderpump's life was fast-paced, filled with the pressures of managing her businesses, dealing with public scrutiny, and maintaining her image. The world she operated in was competitive, and she often found herself in situations that demanded resilience and a strong persona. While she was always a strong advocate for animals and actively involved in philanthropy, her approach to challenges was often marked by a need to prove herself. The constant demands of the entertainment world left little room for introspection or stepping back. Vanderpump, like many of us, was caught in the cycle of feeling the need to defend her reputation and fight every battle that came her way. The idea of letting go or walking away from a confrontation was not something she readily embraced. Her world revolved around constant engagement, whether it was with her businesses, her public image, or the various conflicts that arose on reality television. In her personal life, too, Vanderpump faced challenges. The pressure to succeed, the need to maintain relationships, and the scrutiny from the media often made her feel like she had to constantly be on guard. There was little room for vulnerability or stepping back, and the concept of inner peace seemed elusive amidst the chaos of her busy life. It was in this state, successful yet constantly under pressure, that Vanderpump attended the event featuring the Dalai Lama, seeking perhaps a new perspective or simply curious about the insights of one of the world's most revered spiritual leaders. The impact of meeting the Dalai Lama. Later, Vanderpump took to Twitter to share a particularly memorable takeaway from the event. Recounting a statement attributed to the Dalai Lama, "Debate is good for progression, but when the dog was too big, I ran." This statement carried such humor, such profundity. It was as if the Dalai Lama was telling us that while challenging situations are part of growth, there's also immense wisdom in knowing when to step back. Don't we all need that reminder sometimes? When do we fight, and when do we simply laugh and move on? This statement resonates deeply because it reflects a delicate balance we all must navigate, the importance of debate and discourse for growth and the wisdom to know our limits. Debate is not just about proving ourselves right, it's about learning and expanding our understanding. How often do we forget that? Philosophically, the Dalai Lama's statement is a powerful reflection on debate, adaptability, and, most importantly, self-preservation. After the event, Vanderpump began to reflect more on the importance of choosing her battles wisely. The Dalai Lama's message about running from the big dog provided her with a newfound sense of freedom. She realized that not every confrontation was worth her energy and that true strength sometimes lay in stepping back. This was a significant shift for Vanderpump, who had previously felt the need to engage in every conflict, especially those amplified by the public nature of her career. The Dalai Lama's wisdom helped Vanderpump recognize the value of inner peace over external validation. It wasn't about winning every argument or proving herself in every situation. It was about maintaining her well-being and focusing her energy where it truly mattered. This shift in perspective allowed her to approach her work and relationships with a new sense of calm. She started to see that disengaging from unnecessary conflicts was not a sign of weakness, but rather a testament to her growth and maturity. The role of debate in personal and societal growth. Debate, a word that often evokes images of heated discussions or passionate arguments, is indeed a tool for growth. Philosophers like Socrates and Hegel held that through opposition and dialogue, individuals could reach a higher understanding of truth. The Dalai Lama, with his characteristic humility, reminds us, debate is good for progression. Yes. Engaging in debate can push us to question our beliefs, to open our minds to new ideas. How powerful is that? Isn't that what the world needs more of today? Debate is not merely a battle of words or wits, it is a profound opportunity to transcend our limitations. It challenges us to look beyond our own biases, to consider perspectives that may initially feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar. How many times have you entered into a discussion, certain of your stance, only to come away with a new perspective? It's exhilarating, isn't it? The Dalai Lama's encouragement of debate is a reminder that we must never become complacent in our thinking. Our beliefs must be tested, refined, and sometimes even dismantled in the pursuit of greater understanding. However, the Dalai Lama's next words add an important caveat: when the dog was too big, I ran. Not all debates are worth engaging in. Sometimes, the other side is too rigid, too aggressive, or simply unwilling to listen. At times like these, the wise thing to do is walk away. It's not about cowardice, it's about choosing peace over meaningless conflict. Have you ever found yourself in a debate that left you feeling drained rather than enlightened? Knowing when to engage and when to let go is a form of wisdom that saves us from unnecessary stress and emotional turbulence. How often do we feel obligated to defend our point of view, even when the conversation has turned sour or counterproductive? We find ourselves wrapped up in an argument that is no longer about truth or understanding but about ego and dominance. The Dalai Lama's humor-laced wisdom reminds us that sometimes, it is best to simply walk away. There is no shame in choosing to protect our peace. In fact, isn't that the ultimate victory, to rise above the need to win and instead prioritize our well-being, pragmatism and adaptability in life's challenges? The Dalai Lama's remark also speaks to a profound pragmatism. William James, the philosopher, argued that actions should be evaluated based on their outcomes. When the Dalai Lama mentions the big dog, it's an invitation for us to assess our battles. Is it worth it? Will this lead to a positive outcome? Sometimes, the practical choice is not to fight but to adapt. After all, why should we let our ego pull us into battles that ultimately harm our well-being? Life throws many challenges at us, and we often feel compelled to face them all, but sometimes, the real strength lies in knowing when to walk away. We live in a world that often glorifies relentless perseverance. We are told to never give up, to fight until the end. But the Dalai Lama's message is different. He reminds us that there is wisdom in choosing our battles. Not every confrontation is an opportunity for growth, some are simply draining. Pragmatism, in this sense, becomes a tool for self-preservation. By evaluating the consequences of our actions, we can decide whether the effort is truly worth the outcome. Imagine the freedom that comes from this kind of discernment. To know that we are not obligated to engage in every struggle, that sometimes, the best course of action is to let go and move on. This is especially true for individuals in high-pressure environments, like Vanderpump herself. The world of entertainment and hospitality is full of challenges, both big and small. For Vanderpump, the Dalai Lama's words served as a poignant reminder that true success is not about conquering every opponent but about preserving one's inner peace. And isn't that what we all need in our own lives? The ability to step back, take a deep breath, and choose peace. In her line of work, Vanderpump often faces criticism, competition, and the pressures of public opinion. The Dalai Lama's message gave her permission, and gives all of us permission, to recognize that sometimes, disengaging is the most powerful response. It's about conserving our energy for what truly matters. Isn't there something beautiful in that simplicity? In understanding that our time and energy are precious and should be devoted to what nurtures us, rather than what drains us. Buddhist philosophy, embracing non-attachment and inner peace. From a Buddhist perspective, the Dalai Lama's statement reflects principles of non-attachment and inner peace. In Buddhism, There's a concept called sunyata, or emptiness, which teaches us that nothing, not even our ego, is permanent. This understanding allows us to approach life's challenges with greater flexibility. By choosing to run from a big dog, the Dalai Lama shows us the value of letting go. Isn't it liberating to know that we don't have to prove ourselves in every situation? That sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is simply let go and preserve our peace of mind? Non-attachment does not mean indifference, it means recognizing the impermanence of all things and understanding that our true peace lies within. When we cling to the need to be right, to prove our worth, or to win every argument, we are attaching ourselves to outcomes that are ultimately fleeting. The Dalai Lama's words encourage us to let go of this attachment. To run from the big dog is to release ourselves from the burden of always having to engage, always having to prove something. It's about finding freedom in non-attachment. For Vanderpump, this message seemed to resonate strongly. In her line of work, where image and reputation can be everything, how refreshing it must have been to hear the Dalai Lama say that it's okay not to engage with every big dog that comes her way. It's a reminder to all of us that sometimes, stepping back is not defeat, it's wisdom, it's self-care. Imagine the peace that comes from this realization. How often do we exhaust ourselves trying to control every situation, trying to defend our pride? The Dalai Lama's wisdom offers us an alternative, to simply let go. To trust that our worth is not tied to how many battles we win, but to the peace we carry within. Isn't that the kind of freedom we all seek? The freedom to live without the constant pressure of proving ourselves, existentialism, freedom of choice and boundaries. From an existentialist viewpoint, the Dalai Lama's words are also about freedom of choice. Thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre emphasize the power of choice and the weight of personal responsibility. We have the freedom to decide which challenges we engage in and which we avoid. Isn't that empowering? The Dalai Lama chose to run from a big dog, demonstrating the freedom to say, "This is not worth my time." We often underestimate the power of choice, don't we? Sometimes, the best decision is to choose peace over confrontation, to say, "I value my well-being too much to fight this fight." Existentialism teaches us that our lives are defined by the choices we make. We create meaning through our actions, through the boundaries we set, and through the battles we choose to fight. The Dalai Lama's decision to avoid the big dog is a powerful assertion of his autonomy. He reminds us that we have the right to decide what is worth our energy and what is not. Isn't there something incredibly freeing in that? To realize that we don't have to engage with every challenge that comes our way, this perspective also emphasizes the responsibility we have to ourselves. By choosing not to engage in every confrontation, we show respect for our own boundaries. We acknowledge that our time, energy, and peace are valuable. The Dalai Lama's wisdom encourages us to prioritize our well-being, to decide when engagement serves our growth and when it's better to walk away. How many times have we found ourselves trapped in situations that drain us, simply because we felt we had to engage? Whether it's a toxic relationship, a pointless argument, or an unhealthy work environment, we often feel obligated to stay and fight. But the Dalai Lama's words remind us that we have a choice. We are not powerless, we have the freedom to walk away, to run if necessary, and to protect our peace. Isn't that a powerful realization? To know that our well-being is in our hands, that we have the right to choose what serves us and what doesn't. Virtue ethics, wisdom and the balance of courage. In terms of virtue ethics, the Dalai Lama's statement demonstrates what Aristotle called phronesis, practical wisdom. True courage, according to Aristotle, involves discernment. It's not about rushing headlong into every battle but about knowing which battles are worth fighting. The Dalai Lama's choice to avoid the big dog is a beautiful example of balanced courage. Sometimes, courage isn't about confrontation, it's about stepping back, laughing, and preserving harmony. Isn't that what we all aspire to? To find that balance where wisdom guides our courage. Courage is often misunderstood as fearlessness. But true courage is not the absence of fear, it is the ability to act in spite of fear, guided by wisdom. The Dalai Lama's choice to avoid the big dog is an example of this nuanced courage. He shows us that sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is to walk away, to choose peace over pride, harmony over conflict. Isn't that the kind of courage we need more of in our world today? In this way, his statement illustrates that true virtue lies in balance. It's about choosing peace when faced with unnecessary strife, about understanding that sometimes, the courageous thing to do is to say, "This isn't my fight, and that's okay." Vanderpump's reflection on the Dalai Lama's words serves as a reminder that even in the face of challenges, maintaining inner peace is a sign of true strength and wisdom. Consider the times in your life when you felt the need to prove yourself, to show others that you are brave, strong, or unyielding. How often did those moments lead to lasting peace or fulfillment? True wisdom, as the Dalai Lama demonstrates, is knowing when to let go. It's about recognizing that our worth is not determined by how many battles we fight, but by the quality of the peace we nurture within ourselves. After meeting the Dalai Lama, after the event, Vanderpump began to make noticeable changes in her life. She started to adopt a more relaxed approach to conflict, especially in her public and professional life. The Dalai Lama's words about knowing when to walk away became a guiding principle for her. In the entertainment industry, where drama and conflict often drive narratives, Vanderpump found herself more at ease with stepping back when necessary. She no longer felt the need to prove herself in every confrontation, whether it was on television or in her business dealings. The effect of the Dalai Lama's teachings also extended into her personal relationships. Vanderpump began to prioritize her well-being and that of her loved ones over the need to be right or to engage in every disagreement. She embraced the idea that true strength lies in choosing peace and in knowing which battles are worth fighting. This shift allowed her to cultivate deeper, more meaningful relationships, free from the constant pressure of ego-driven conflict. The changes in Vanderpump's life were not only internal but also visible to those around her. Friends and colleagues noticed a new sense of calm in her demeanor. She was still passionate and driven, but there was an added layer of serenity, an understanding that not every challenge required her full energy. Vanderpump's businesses continued to thrive, but she approached her work with a renewed focus on what truly mattered, letting go of the unnecessary stress that came from trying to control every aspect of her career. Her philanthropic work also took on new meaning. Inspired by the Dalai Lama's emphasis on compassion and non-attachment, Vanderpump became even more involved in causes close to her heart, such as animal welfare and LGBTQ rights. She began to see her activism not as a fight against injustice but as an opportunity to spread compassion and understanding. This subtle shift in perspective made her advocacy work more fulfilling and impactful. Conclusion, through the lenses of dialectics, pragmatism, Buddhist philosophy, existentialism, and virtue ethics, the Dalai Lama's statement, as shared by Lisa Vanderpump, offers profound insight. While debate and discourse are undeniably valuable, discernment, adaptability, and self-preservation are equally crucial. Vanderpump's reflection captures the essence of this wisdom, a wisdom that is universally applicable. The Dalai Lama's humor and humility remind us that not every obstacle requires confrontation. Sometimes, progress is about knowing when to step back, when to laugh, and when to simply choose peace. Isn't that the kind of wisdom we all need in our lives? The Dalai Lama's message transcends the event at which it was spoken. It is a timeless reminder for all of us, whether we are navigating personal challenges, professional obstacles, or societal conflicts. The call to debate for progression is a call to engage with the world, to challenge our thinking, and to grow. But the wisdom to run when the big dog appears is equally important. It's about recognizing our own limits, understanding the value of our peace, and choosing harmony over conflict. Imagine how different our world could be if more people embraced this wisdom. If we all learned to discern which battles were worth fighting and which were best avoided, perhaps we would see fewer conflicts, less division, and more compassion. The Dalai Lama's words encourage us to be both courageous and wise, to engage when it serves us and to walk away when it doesn't. It's a delicate balance, but one that holds the key to true peace and fulfillment. Lisa Vanderpump's experience at the event and her subsequent reflection on the Dalai Lama's words serve as a powerful reminder that wisdom comes in many forms. Sometimes it is found in action, and other times in inaction. The Dalai Lama's humor and insight remind us that life is not always about proving ourselves. Sometimes, the most profound progress we can make is to simply let go, to choose peace, and to move forward with grace. Let us carry this wisdom into our own lives. Let us debate for the sake of growth, but also recognize when it is time to walk away. Let us find the courage to face our challenges, but also the wisdom to know when those challenges are not worth our energy. And above all, let us choose peace, again and again, as we navigate the complexities of our world. Isn't that what we all truly long for? A life filled not with endless battles, but with moments of true connection, understanding, and peace?